is time to talk some football, but not just any football. No, we are talking Bears football. Yes, that's right, folks. What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NFL. And boy, am I excited because, like I said, the NFL season is here. It is upon us. I know we have to get through preseason before we get to the regular season, but I'm just glad football is back and it's time to talk football. So if you guys are new to the channel, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe. There's going to be a lot of football content coming to this video. That doesn't mean I'm stopping my NBA content. Of course, that will also continue to my loyal NBA subscribers as well. So make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on post notifications. So we're talking Bears football. We're talking over, under, and we're talking predicting their win-loss record for the 2018 NFL season, for the 2018-19 NFL season, and predicting how the Bears will do this season. Okay, so with that being said, I'm just going to basically break it down by going through each game this season, going through their entire schedule, and talking about which games do I think they're going to win, which games do I think they're going to lose, and give reasons why. Simple enough, right? So that's basically what we're going to do. Real quick, before I do get started, I do want to point out that I have officially kicked off my fantasy football league, my 5 Sports Talk fantasy football league that I do every year, and I shouldn't even say every year, I just started last year, but it is now open, and you guys can join the league using the link down below that I have in the description. Disclaimer, it is first come, first serve, so I only got 20 spots in the league, so whoever gets in, gets in. So make sure to go ahead and get in that league ASAP, because whoever wins that league, there will be a monetary prize of some sort, so you are not going to want to miss out on that. But with that being said, let's get started. So with that being said, let's get started with week 1. I do want to point out, though, that I will not be going into a lot of detail on every single matchup, or at least as much as I would like, because I don't want this video to go on for like 20-30 minutes. Okay, so with that being said, just going to give a high-level overview, if you will. So week 1, the Bears play in Lambeau. Yes, the Bears versus the Packers. Week 1, Aaron Rodgers is back from that injury. And you know I love me some Aaron Rodgers. I love the Bears more, don't get me wrong, but I do love Aaron Rodgers. This is an out, folks, okay? And you might be thinking, Fives, the Packers aren't really that good. I mean, their defense was awful last year. They tried to upgrade it in the draft, and they did really, but for the most part, the main difference with this roster is what? Number 12, their quarterback, and that's enough for me, because the Bears, who I think will be a very improved team, as you guys will see by what I'm predicting their record to be, but I still think that guy, number 12, there's very few difference makers like him in this league. There is no difference maker like him in this league other than maybe the other number 12 in Foxborough, in New England, in Tom Brady. So I'm going to say opening day in Lambeau, Aaron Rodgers back. Packers are going to take this game just based off of, I feel like, the atmosphere of the game, and I feel like with the crowd and everything, okay? And not to mention the fact that, of course, they've got the better quarterback, maybe not necessarily the better team, okay? So 0-1, let's get started with week 2 now. Week 2, they play the Seattle Seahawks. This is at home in Chicago, so Seahawks will be traveling to Chicago, and I am going to give the Bears a dub here. Yes, a surprising win. A lot of fans might be thinking, no way they're beating the Seahawks, but this is not the same Seahawks team of old. This ain't the Legion of Boom. This is far from it. Richard Sherman's in Seattle. Earl Thomas wants the hell out of there. It's just not the same. Their O-line was awful last year. Russell Wilson was running for his life. Their running backs are sort of not even like set in stone. We don't know who's going to start week 1. So there is a lot of things in flux in Seattle, and I think the Bears are going to catch them early when they haven't figured things out. Maybe they will later on in the season, but I do think with the fact that their defense has significantly worsened and the fact that their offense isn't as good now, also with the loss of Jimmy Graham, who is in Green Bay, I think the Bears can win this game, and because they're at home, I'm predicting them to win this game, okay? So Bears take this dub versus the Seattle Seahawks. Let's move on to week 3. They are playing at Arizona, so against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to say this is a loss for the Bears. Look, the Cardinals were 8-8 last year, and that was without David Johnson. David Johnson's coming back. David Johnson's and arguably the best running back in the NFL. He can make his case for it for sure. He is as good as Le'Veon Bell, as good as Todd Gurley, and all these guys. So he was lost early last season. He's going to be a big help for them. He's their best player. They have Sam Bradford now at quarterback, but who knows? Maybe Josh Rosen might even start their rookie quarterback by week 3. So definitely see this Tampa Bay team, excuse me, why did I say Tampa Bay? Arizona team improving. So I definitely think them being in Arizona and the fact that David Johnson is back, I think the Bears lose this game just because of that. So I have them losing to Arizona in week 3. Let's move on to week number 4. This is why I said Tampa, because they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 4 at home. Now, originally, I had this as an L, but I'm going to say this is a W because I thought about the fact that Jameis Winston, who is suspended, is going to come back after suspension against the Bears. But this game is in Chicago, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not improved much from last season when they were 5-11. I still believe they're not a very good team. Their running back situation is in flux. Their defense was awful last year. I think the Bears can still beat them even with Jameis Winston making his return. And who knows, he could be rusty as hell. So I'm saying the Bears win that game. So the Bears go into week 4. After week 4, they're going to be 2-2 going into week 5, which is the bye. So let's skip over that. Week 6 at Miami against Miami Dolphins. They're going to be playing Dow Loggins, their ex-coordinator, if you will. Look, the Dolphins are awful, okay? Ryan Tannehill is coming back, but he doesn't do anything for me. They lost Ndamukong Suh. Their defense is okay, nothing great. They traded away Jay Ajayi, so they're a rebuilding team. I think the Bears can win this one easy. Chalk up the dub for the Bears, okay? Let's move on to week 7. They play a juggernaut in the New England Patriots. Let's take the L. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about it. It's the New England Patriots, okay? Week 8 against the New York Jets. Again, another rebuilding team. I think the Bears can handle the Jets here. Sam Darnold, who I do like, might be picking up steam by this point. I fully expect him to start week 1, and he could get hot at this point. But overall, as a roster, the Bears still have the better roster than the New York Jets, who I believe, even with Sam Darnold, are obviously still rebuilding. I see the Bears taking this dub, okay? Let's move on to week 9. They're playing at Buffalo, so against the Bills. And the Bills are one of the teams that I feel like are going to regress like no other this season. They were 9-7 last year. They made the playoffs. I don't see that happening. They drafted Josh Allen. They got rid of Tyrod Taylor. This is another rebuilding season. They have nobody to play at receiver. They freaking traded for Corey Coleman. So I don't like the Bills. I mean, their receiving core, like I mentioned, is not very good. Kelvin Benjamin, he's okay. So a rebuilding year for Buffalo. I think the Bears can definitely handle them, knowing that they have the better quarterback and they have the better roster. And I believe the better defense too. So I will take the Bears to get this dub at Buffalo over the Buffalo Bills. Let's move on to week 10, and we are playing a division rival in the Detroit Lions. Now, this one is at home in Chicago against the Lions, and I'm expecting them to take this one in Chicago. Lions really didn't do much for the roster this season to improve or not. Matthew Stafford is still Matt Stafford. He's a good quarterback, but he's not a great one. And they have certain weapons like Golden Tate. We know that, but to me, I think the Bears can certainly beat them. I don't see a lot of differences in their roster. I could even make the argument that the Bears roster is better than the Lions roster, so I'm going to go with the Bears to take this win against the Detroit Lions. Let's move on to week 11 against the Minnesota Vikings. This is at home in Chicago, but I still expect the Vikings to win this game. They're just too talented. You got Kirk Cousins, your new quarterback now, who I believe is an upgrade over Case Keenum. You got Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs returning. You got Dalvin Cook coming back from injury. This defense is still elite. No chance in hell the Bears win this game. This is an L for them. Week 12 at Detroit. Now, this is a division game again against the Lions. Even if I believe the Bears are better than the Lions, these division games are tricky because these teams know each other, and I just have a feeling they're not going to sweep the Lions. They will split it, so I'm going to give this L to the Bears, and the Lions win this, and it's in Detroit as well, so it kind of makes sense at that point. Let's talk about Week 13 at the New York Football Giants. I am predicting the Bears to win this game. I know, a bit surprising, but hear me out. Eli Manning has clearly regressed. I believe he's on his last legs. We know Saquon Barkley is going to get the workload there. We still have not figured out what the situation with OBJ is and his contract. He might be unhappy, though I expect them to come to a conclusion with his contract and extend him. But as a whole, with the Giants, a new head coach, them going through a bunch of changes, they could be very good or they could be very bad. So I'm thinking the Bears can win this game. I don't feel super confident about it, but I think I'm going to go with it. So I'm predicting them to win that. Week 14, they play the Rams at home. I don't care if it's at home in Chicago. The Rams are a Super Bowl contender. We are going to get smoked in this game. This is an L for the Bears. The Rams are stacked everywhere, okay? Week 15, at home in Chicago against the Packers. I could see the Bears winning this one. I could. But again, I'm just going to say they won't because I just feel like Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers back is going to have a big season. I think they're going to sweep the Bears. So, Week 15, I'm taking the L for the Bears. Week 16, they play at San Francisco against the 49ers, against Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo, and that 49ers team that came onto the scene with Jimmy Garoppolo last season. I think the Bears can still beat this team. I've been targeting the Bears to get these dubs against bad defenses, and San Francisco is one of those teams. Now, I know they got Richard Sherman this season, but I don't think Richard Sherman is going to be prime Richard Sherman all of a sudden. So I believe that the Bears can win this game. So I'm going to give them this impressive road dub, though I think it'll be close. Okay, and then finishing out the season at Minnesota. We're not beating the damn Vikings, folks. They're too damn stacked, okay? So I'm taking this L again for the Bears, okay? So there you have it. Weeks 1 through 17 with the bye week, of course. And the final prediction for the Bears is 8-8 if you were keeping track. So I have them picking up wins over the Seahawks, at home against the Seahawks, at home against Tampa Bay, on the road against the Dolphins, on the road against the Bills, on the road against the Giants, on the road against the 49ers, and I believe that's it. Did I miss anything? Seahawks, Bucks, Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Lions, Giants, 49ers. There you have it, folks. So 8-8 for the Bears. That is my record prediction for them. Vegas has the over-under at 6.5. They're predicting 6.5 wins for the Chicago Bears. So my prediction isn't too, crazy, if you will. The Bears were 5-11 last year. The year before that, they were 3-13. This roster is completely improved. We've got better receivers with Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel. You got Trey Burton upgraded at tight end. Still got a stud backfield in Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. You drafted Roquan Smith with your first overall pick in this year's draft, and I expect his contract situation to be settled and him to be able to play. And you take a look at the fact that you have the new head coach in Matt Nagy, who I love, and he is an offensive genius. You got rid of that dinosaur in John Fox. So I think this is going to be a big year for a turnaround, and I think the Bears are going to be one of the surprise teams. Honestly, I wanted to go a little higher and even say 9-7, but I'm going to stick with 8-8 as my prediction for the Bears record this season. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me, or again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.